Hi everyone.
Hi.
As you've noticed, it's not Chelsea this week, but it's sister number 3, sister number 4. If for you guys who don't know us, my name's Rhian and
My name's Lauren.
this week we know it's a bit late, but everyone's gone back to school and university and their various places of work, and we just wanted to do a bit of a different vlog this week. We're going to do a kind of a versus. Don't worry guys, we're not going to fight. But I am at the end of my university journey. I've done, praise be to God, my 3 years at Hertfordshire University, and I've graduated now. Woo. And Lauren is going into her 2nd year, so we thought we'd talk about the differences between a 3rd year lockdown student and a 1st year lockdown student. So we hope you guys enjoy this vlog.
This how my story goes. It took a long time. Only God knows, but it's alright, but it's okay, because I'm here to encourage y'all anyway.
Okay guys, so our first question, and we're going to start with the 1st year lockdown student, was how did you feel how did lockdown affect your friendship groups from university?
Well, friendship group's a funny word to say, because lockdown meant that I didn't get a friendship group because I didn't get to meet anyone on my course. I mean, there's names, but there's no face because there's no cameras on during online lectures. And, well, we didn't have a single lecture in person. So there's just literally names, a group chat, but no faces. Which means 2nd year is going to be a very great start. But, yeah. And for you?
As a 3rd year student, I guess I already made friends in 1st year and 2nd year. But communication wise, you know, like everyone, well, people who've gone to uni usually tell the same story about it getting a bit lonely. And in 3rd year, you really do appreciate the little stuff that you and your friends do together. And I didn't get that because my friends were on campus. I was here. We didn't have the traveling or sitting down and doing projects together. So my friendship groups remained, but it just meant I saw a lot less of them for obvious reasons. And it did put a bit of a strain on it, especially for group work. It was really hard to go back and forth because we had to use Zoom or try to do like WhatsApp video calls. But I had friends before from year 1 and year 2, so I guess that's the difference.
My question to you then is, would you say that you preferred the whole lockdown experience of doing lectures or being in person? I mean, there was aspects where both had pros and cons, but which one was your preferred experience?
Well, my first approach when I heard that we were online, I was like, yes, I don't have to spend any money on travel. I'm going to be at home in the comfort of my house. I'll get a lot more work done because the travel time's lessened, because it was a 2-hour journey there, 2-hour journey back. That means I could use those 2 hours instead of traveling back from uni. I could get on with my projects. Yeah, I lied. At first it was fun, and then it started to get hard because being at home and everyone being at home, we kind of distracted each other. Like me and Lauren had times where she was on a lecture, I was on a lecture, so I'm hearing her lecturer speak, she's hearing mine. It was a bit confusing, and then we had to start separating ourselves out, but we share a room, so we're both on our beds saying that we're listening to our lectures but really falling asleep. So I would say the pros to being at home was that I could be in the comfort of my own house. I didn't have to get up and get ready and all of that stuff, and the travel time and saving the money. But in terms of being focused, I did struggle with that, and also group work was not fun because, as I said, we had to do stuff over Zoom, and I did a music course, and I don't know if any of you guys have tried to play stuff over Zoom. Yeah, it's not easy. So that's my experience. How did you feel? I know obviously you didn't get the experience of going in because it was your 1st year, but did you prefer doing your lectures online, or would you have preferred to go in?
Definitely online. I'm a very quiet person, I would personally say. So going into somewhere that was new and I wasn't going to know anyone, and I have to start with the whole getting to know people, making sure that you get to your lectures on time because everywhere is new. You're not knowing where buildings are numbers, sometimes they're words, but that doesn't mean anything to me. I'm not on campus, and I've been to the campus once, but not enough. I didn't go for a tour to know that where everything is. So personally, for comfortability and not liking to step out of my comfort zone, being online was great. Like I said, no one put their cameras on, so no one knew what each other looked like. It was just, you could be yourself without actually people seeing yourself. However, now that we are doing hybrid learning, so we'll be in person and some online, now the anxiety is starting to kick in. It's going to be a very different year from my first year, but I feel like it's going to be more difficult because the expectations are higher, because I'm not a first year student anymore, I'm a second year. But I don't know what to expect because I've never had an in-person lecture, so who knows.
Okay. Now we talk about the education side of university, but as I mentioned before, we said about money. So how do you think you managed your student finance being at home?
I felt rich. I mean, of course, well, with my course, there was only one thing I mainly needed. And once that was paid for, the rest of the money, I looked at it as being mine until I got to my last student finance. And it was the last until September. And then I was like, what am I supposed to do for the next 4 months? I could get a job, but at the same time, I don't really want to work. And if I am working, then would I want to go back to university? Because university, you're paying for your education. And of course, the end result is amazing, but you don't see that result until you finish your 3/4 years, in my case. So, I mean, I wasn't very wise with the money, but we'll see how second year goes. What about you?
Because I'd already done, well, to be fair, I didn't spend loads of money in my first year because I was living in Hertfordshire, and well, it's very expensive to live there, so most of my money was going towards my accommodation. Second year, well, this is a small bit of my testimony. Second year, I was actually paying off my first year accommodation, so again, that money wasn't really mine. Third year, I felt rich. I thought, okay, I'm not spending any money on travel, which was very expensive for me. I didn't have to spend money on any lunch or anything else like that because I was at home. But that meant that I was seeing a lot of money in my account, and I thought that let's just spend galore. That was probably the latter end that I started to spend a bit too much. But I think, student finance was it was a saving grace, but I think I did splash a bit of cash too. But I also was aware that this was going to be my last student finance, so I kind of held out on that. Okay, so we've done 3 questions. Now we just wanted to do, because obviously this is the point of Chelsea's Painful Purpose channel, is to encourage, and we want to give our own little bits of encouragement, me from a third year perspective, a graduate now, and Lauryn from first year going into her second year. So my encouragement for those of us who did a third year lockdown, don't worry, don't stress. We are at the end, and the first thing is, thank God that we made it. With whatever grades we got, thank God that we made it. It might not have been the grade that you were hoping for, you expected, but guess what? You finished. And that's more than a lot of people can say, because lockdown was hard. And I'm not looking at the next person and saying, because you didn't finish, you're not strong. No, everyone went through what they went through during lockdown. But I'm speaking to those of us who have graduated. We did it. And we didn't have to do it alone. Despite what kind of issues we were going through, God took us through our last year. And I'm proud of all of us. I am proud of myself. I am proud of you and you and you. I don't even know who I'm pointing at, but I'm still proud of you. And now it's just remember where we were before. Remember the stress and the struggles of university, and then a lockdown on top of that. And apply that to when you're now starting to think about your future career, whether you're deciding between masters or going straight into work. Maybe you want to do your doctorate. Leave it in God's hands. You pray about things. You let God know how you're feeling. Let God know your anxieties, your fears, your aspirations. Tell God about it. Speak to him about it, because he got you through where you are now. Despite what was going on with the whole lockdown, he got us here. So for your next steps, don't worry. You saw all the great things that God did for us already, and he's going to continue to do. So that's my encouragement for us hashtag third year lockdown students.
And for pandemic first year students, my encouragement is, it was hard and it is going to be hard. Everything's going to be brand new. But look at your second year, not so much as a first year, because your grades do count towards your final grade. But look at it as, put yourself out there. Societies, go and join them. Put yourself out there, getting to know new people, because you're not the only one who's in this situation. Even those that did stay on campus will often, if you speak to them, will tell you that they still didn't have a first year experience, because between someone in their flat testing positive and them all having to quarantine, or between if there were online lectures, it meant they still couldn't go and do their lecture anyway. And yeah, they got to meet people in their flats, but it kind of stopped and started there. A lot of them were homesick. Understandably, you're usually homesick at the beginning of your first year anyway, but not being able to do the whole getting to know people and making friends that you're so close with that it feels like family, meant that the experience was a lot harder to get through, and it was a whole year. We went through this for 18 months, so I can only imagine what people who stayed on campus felt like. But the thing is, even though we haven't completely gone back to normality, we are slowly shifting, and what we are able to do and the events that are open for us to do, I would highly encourage you to attend as many as possible. Put yourself out of your comfort zone. I'm a person who likes to be in my comfort zone. I like to know the situation completely before stepping in. But sometimes it's better to step into a situation blindly, not blindly without God, but blindly with trusting in that God is going to put you in a situation you can handle. He's not going to give you more than you can bear. And even when it does feel like it's more than you can bear, God is always there with you. It's something that I need to remember myself, that this journey isn't my journey, it's my journey with God. And the moment I begin to understand that, it's the moment that your journey is a lot easier to take. I mean, I never thought I'd even make it through first year. After a month of lectures, I looked at the screen and I just wanted to go sleep and lay down and never look at another lecture again. But I made it through the whole of first year, and I'm going into second year now, and I can see myself graduating in 3 years' time and saying I made it, and looking back at this video and laughing at myself for being so worried about going into second year. But that isn't me saying that there's any reason to not worry about it. Everyone deals with situations differently, but what I'm saying is to not let your worries get in the way of you trying to push yourself and do better, because you will be looking back and say, I wish I did more. I already look back at my first year, and it was only a few months ago, and say, I wish I did more, even though I was in a pandemic, but I wish I did more to put myself out there so that I would be better prepared and more well prepared for second year. But that's my encouragement for all us second/first year students, because I mean, if you did first year in a pandemic, it really didn't count. But that's my encouragement.
So guys, we hope you enjoyed a little bit of a different way of encouraging you. And as Chelsea, I believe, always says on her channel, she hopes that you guys are always blessed and that you guys keep watching the videos that come out every fortnight. And that also you guys message her and
put some comments down below about maybe your experience at university, whether it was during a pandemic or even before, or if you're about to just begin your first year.
Give us some advice. Like, okay, I'm in my 3rd year, but I know that there are going to be some people watching this who have actually started graduate jobs. Like, we need the advice too. So drop it in the comments. Chelsea's on Instagram as well, so you could message her and just, you know, encourage each other. This is all about us creating a network where we can all work together, and we just help to remind each other that God is here, God is ever present, and he is working in our lives. So we hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we look forward to seeing you in 2 weeks' time. Bye.
It's okay.